Darth Maul is one of those characters who should have been a one-hit wonder, a flashy villain with cool horns and a gimmick lightsaber who dies in the first movie. But somehow he crawled out of the grave, glued his body back together with sheer anger, and ended up becoming one of the most fascinating characters in Star Wars. He is basically the villain equivalent of that one friend who refuses to leave the party, even after the lights come on. And the crazy part is, every time he shows up, he steals the spotlight. In The Phantom Menace, he barely says a word, and still manages to outshine half the cast. In Clone Wars, he goes from deranged spider monster to criminal mastermind like it is the most normal career change in the galaxy. By the time we see him in Rebels, he is basically the weird uncle who never left the family feud, but still somehow makes it entertaining. But here is the thing that keeps gnawing at fans. We still have no idea what he was doing in all the gaps between those stories. How did he build Crimson Dawn? What kind of power plays did he make in the shadows? How did he keep crawling back into relevance, like the galaxy's most stubborn cockroach? Those unanswered questions are what make him feel like unfinished business. And it is maddening that Lucasfilm has not cashed in on this yet. They have given us shows about Boba Fett taking naps in a bacta tank, Kenobi chasing after kidnapped Leia, and Andor filling out TPS reports for the rebellion. Meanwhile, Darth Maul, one of the most tragic and entertaining figures in the saga, is still waiting on the bench. It is like benching your star player so the water boy can get screen time. What makes Maul so special is not just that he is dangerous, it is that he is layered. He is terrifying one second, pathetic the next, and always compelling. He is not just a villain, he is a survivor, a schemer, and a walking cautionary tale about obsession. You cannot take your eyes off him because you know he is either about to do something brilliant or something incredibly stupid, and both are fun to watch. In this video, we are going to dive into why Darth Maul deserves his own series, and why Star Wars is weaker without it. We will look at the unanswered chapters of his life, the tragedy of his downfall, and the sheer potential a Maul show could bring to the galaxy far, far away. By the end, you will see that Maul is not just a character who should get a spin-off, he is the character who needs it. Every time you think his story is over, he comes crawling back, literally in the case of those spider legs in Clone Wars, and it makes you wonder, what else has this guy been doing when the camera wasn't pointed at him? The fact that Lucasfilm has never given us a dedicated series feels like a missed opportunity waiting to happen. Think about Crimson Dawn. We get a tiny tease of it in Solo, where Maul pops up for a shocking cameo, but we never see how he built that empire. How did a once-defeated Sith apprentice transform into the leader of one of the most feared criminal organizations in the galaxy? That's not just a cool subplot, that's an entire show begging to be made. And what about his exile years? After Sidious cast him aside, Maul didn't just vanish. He was scheming, plotting, and clawing his way back into relevance. Imagine the possibilities of a show that explores those gaps, showing us the hidden moves of a man too dangerous to ignore, but too broken to truly succeed. It's the kind of mystery that makes fans lean in and say, "Tell me more." Even the little hints in comics and novels show how deep this rabbit hole goes. The Son of Dathomir arc reveals his plans, but it's only a fragment of what could be explored on screen. There are entire stretches of his life where the only thing we know is that he was still alive and still angry. That's prime storytelling material, just sitting on a shelf collecting dust. A Darth Maul series wouldn't just be fan service. It would answer the lingering questions about one of the most fascinating villains in Star Wars. And that curiosity is exactly why the demand hasn't gone away. People want to know the missing pieces, and Maul has plenty of them. It's honestly infuriating that Lucasfilm has spent years giving us half-baked spin-offs, while one of the best characters in the franchise is still waiting for his spotlight. We got a Boba Fett series that turned into The Mandalorian Season 2.5. We got Kenobi reduced to a side quest about Leia, and meanwhile Darth Maul is out here twiddling his thumbs in the vault. The priorities feel completely backwards. Maul has everything you'd want in a lead. He's visually striking, he's got a tragic backstory, and his narrative ties into almost every corner of the galaxy. Yet Disney has been content to use him as a cameo machine instead of the focus he deserves. Solo sets him up, fans get hyped, and then nothing. No follow-up, no continuation, just silence. It feels like a cruel tease. For all the excitement around Maul, his story is also drenched in sadness. He was taken as a child, molded into a weapon by Sidious, and stripped of any chance at a normal life. His entire existence was defined by someone else's ambition. That kind of fate isn't just cruel, it's tragic. Every time Maul reaches for power, it slips through his fingers. He takes Mandalore only to lose it in the chaos of war. He builds an empire only to watch Sidious dismantle it effortlessly. He survives impossible odds, but survival becomes a curse rather than a gift. You can almost feel the sorrow weighing on him in every appearance. And then there's his obsession with Obi-Wan. It's heartbreaking because it becomes the only thing that gives his life meaning. He doesn't fight for glory, he doesn't fight for justice. He fights to destroy one man. That level of fixation is less about hate and more about emptiness. Maul needed Obi-Wan to define himself, and without that, he was lost. Rebels captures this sorrow perfectly. When Maul finally finds Obi-Wan in the desert, he's no longer a warrior roaring with rage. He's tired, broken, and looking for closure. His final words aren't threats, but a whisper about the Chosen One. It's a moment that transforms him from monster into a tragic figure who never got what he truly wanted. A show exploring more could lean into that sorrow, showing us the price of being a weapon in a galaxy that only uses and discards people like him. His tragedy isn't just personal, it's universal. And that's what makes him worth exploring on a deeper level. Despite all the tragedy, there's no denying Darth Maul is one of the most awe-inspiring characters in Star Wars. From the moment that double-bladed lightsaber ignited, he changed what a villain could look like. Suddenly, the Jedi weren't just dueling one-on-one. They were fighting a whirlwind of speed and precision that felt unstoppable. His fight scenes are still some of the most iconic in the entire saga. The Duel of the Fates on Naboo remains unmatched in choreography and intensity, a perfect showcase of his physical dominance. And later, his battles in Clone Wars and Rebels elevated him even further. His fight with Ahsoka on Mandalore is basically Star Wars at its peak, blending animation, motion capture, and raw emotional storytelling. Maul also brings an aura that few villains can match. He doesn't need long monologues or elaborate schemes to intimidate. Just his presence, his silence, and his movements speak volumes. He radiates menace in a way that no other character has replicated. That's why even brief cameos light up fan discussions for years afterward. What gives fans hope about a potential Maul series is how much story is still left to tell. His rise with Crimson Dawn alone could fill multiple seasons, blending crime drama with Star Wars spectacle. It's a part of the galaxy we've barely scratched, and Maul is the perfect character to guide us through it. There's also the chance to connect the dots between Solo, Clone Wars, and Rebels. Right now those pieces feel scattered, but a dedicated series could unify them into one cohesive narrative. Fans want answers, and a Maul show could deliver them in a way that adds weight to everything we've already seen. And let's be honest, Maul brings a level of intensity that the current Disney shows are often missing. He's dangerous, unpredictable, and morally complex. That's exactly what could reignite excitement in a franchise that sometimes feels like it's running on nostalgia fumes. A Maul show could remind everyone that Star Wars can still surprise us. There's also hope in the character himself. For all his darkness, there are moments where you see glimpses of what he could have been. A leader, a mentor, maybe even someone capable of redemption in another life. Exploring those shades of grey gives hope that Star Wars storytelling can still evolve. The hope for a Maul series isn't just about seeing more lightsaber duels. It's about seeing Star Wars finally lean into the untapped potential of one of its greatest characters. That's the kind of move that could reinvigorate the entire brand. At the end of the day, Darth Maul's story is a tragedy waiting for its final chapter. He was built for greatness, but denied the chance to truly achieve it. Every victory was temporary, every scheme undone, every relationship poisoned by betrayal. His life is a cycle of near triumphs, ending in failure. And yet, that's exactly what makes him so compelling. Unlike other villains, who burn bright and fade fast, Maul lingered. He clawed his way back, again and again, refusing to accept the fate given to him. That resilience makes his tragedy even sharper, because you know he could never fully escape the chains Sidious put on him. A series could give us the resolution his story deserves. Not rewriting Rebels, but fleshing out the years in between. Showing us the man behind the monster, and giving depth to a life that was more than just rage and revenge. It wouldn't erase his failures, but it would contextualize them. It would give us a richer picture of who Maul really was. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that share button. My main channel is Critical Analysis Hub, where I post Star Wars content about the movies. My secondary channel is Critical Analysis Hub Plus, where I focus on the shows of Star Wars. And my third channel is Critical Analysis Hub XP, where I post comic books. Be sure to take a moment and check them out. Thanks, and may the Force be with you.